Hi everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Mentions. I'm Marianne. Thank you for tuning into my channel today. I appreciate you all so very, very much. Welcome to the weekly collective. It's a very general reading, but it's for all signs. And it is going to be for the week of April 21st through April 27th. And I do have a format, so I'll go over that quickly as well. And what it is I like to always start, Spirit likes us to know a specific chakra area that we can focus in on for the week. And I do them also, I do the checks for all monthly readings. So those have happened. They happened a while ago now, but if you have not had a chance to look, check those out. Marianne's Mystic Mention, your monthly April readings. And then also, so for today, what I do is I elaborate a little bit more on the astrology, not a lot, but enough to where, you know, some of these aspects are very important. But with the monthlies, I decided let's keep it more streamlined along with the, you know, chakra check, usually an oracle messages that follows. For this week, I'm going to change my decks, which I also always do. And I'm using the Light Seers deck, which just rang out. It just sang out to me, yes, this is the one for this week. And this is a beautiful deck that I see a lot of readers using, actually. And it's by Chris Ann. And, you know, one time I saw her interviewed, and she's a wonderful spirit. She's a wonderful soul, and she has such creativity. I love absorbing that energy. I love listening to, you know, how people started their journey mystically and, you know, spiritually and all of that. But it's a great, great deck. So I'm going to be doing the Celtic Cross for the collective. And I will also be doing an individual card, which I will call your catalyst for the week. For every single sign, it's a quick one card. That's all you really need. It gives you an idea, you know, it's the emphasis. And remember, this is not written in stone. It's a general reading. I do personal readings. If you're interested, you can click on the link I have. I think I have at least 2 at this point. And it's Pure Massage Therapies. This is where I operate my massage business. And you can go online and look, and it's under tarot, and you can set yourself up a time that's available. And then I would then, if you're not coming in person, which you can always do, and you're in the area, the address is on the website, you can always, I would be videotaping your reading, okay? And then we can connect on, after that, we can do it, you know, through emails and all the other variables there, okay? So that's my sales pitch. Got to work on it a little bit, clearly. But we're going to start, like I said, with the chakra check. So the energy levels or energy centers that all of us have in our body are known as the chakras. And there are 7 throughout the body, and then they go upward past the crown chakra into the, you know, 8th and the atmosphere and the collective, and then there's even more. And it just, but I'm sticking with the 8, and I have been. And so I just basically put it behind my back in a simplified manner and just see which particular chakra is the emphasis. And a lot of times, for those of you who are very aware of the chakras, that you can feel sometimes, like the throat chakra is a great example. If you're wanting to talk and it just, you have to clear your throat, or you're just like, the words aren't coming out, much like a Mercury retrograde effect in a lot of ways. There's a blockage, perhaps, there's a restriction, there's a reason, there's something that's keeping you from being able to talk or speak your truth and so forth. And that will come up, and then there's a beautiful saying that can help you to release that. And by the way, I literally thought this color would come up, and chakra, and the gloves prove it, and I'll explain that, but it just dropped. And what I wanted to say too was that, I forget, to be completely honest. I mean, it's just been that way, okay? It's just been that way. I know a lot of people can relate, and I don't even have to go into depth. But you got the 5th chakra, the blue, okay? Because I always have a conversation. I mean, you could call it a meditation. It's another way of looking at it. I wouldn't argue that. And I speak with all the viewers I will be talking to about this specific reading. And I thought, okay, no, I just need you all to know blue is the color, the energy, and that's what the gloves represent. They represent color because color is energy, and energy has feeling, and it has, vibration to it. And it also is in association with the chakras. So that's my brand that I've been doing, and I'm very happy about it because it helps me and excites me to explain, this very thing. But colors are amazing anyway, and I love color. I've always loved color. The lighter blue makes me feel that a lot of what I was saying starts at the throat, but it ends up being towards the upper chakras, which are the third eye, the crown, and then upwards, as I said, the all collective encompassing eighth chakra, all omnipotent, as another word to put it. And so, yeah, that immediately came to me. And then, of course, I am actually recording this on Easter. For those of you that celebrate, Happy Easter. I remember, and always will, as a child, loving Easter and the Easter egg hunts. And, I have a huge family, so we would have a lot of fun. And then raising my sons, and now a pending grandmother to kind of start that resurrection, no pun intended, but again, with this fun part of all the holidays that involve children. But the reality is Easter, and I'm not going to talk a lot of religion because I don't do that, nor politics. But just for a moment to say that the original whole purpose of Easter was to recognize that Jesus Christ, the Savior, rose from the dead to then rejoin his Father after being crucified, basically. And so, when you're young, you hear these things, but like for myself, I was invited into the fold of Catholicism without any, saying it. You just become a part of it. And I kind of dug it. I mean, I was speaking Latin when I was 3 and 4. I didn't know what I was saying. And then as you grow older, this is a metaphor, by the way, you start to think, oh, you attach the words with the meaning, and then you get older and you think, wait a minute, what am I learning here? Like, what am I really in alignment with this? You start to have your own feelings and opinions, and then you take it from there, and so on and so forth. And that's kind of what happened to me. And just knowing that I knew from an early age that I wasn't bothered by getting some kind of foundation, but then made a choice that it didn't have to be so completely absolute, and that's what I love about the term spiritualism, because we're all spirits, residing in this beautiful body of ours, right? However, it is, there's so many lessons and so many interesting ways that we can see life and perceive it and recognize that a lot of our thoughts were not necessarily ours. They were brought to us by our parents, and they were kind of embedded in us, for lack of a better word. And then there comes a time when you think, you know what? I don't necessarily agree with this, that, and the other. And that can be different and, completely different with a lot of different people. So I'll leave it at that. But also to say that the resurrection hit me earlier today. I've thought about Easter many times in my life, but then I thought, wow, the transformation, the resurrection, the changes we go through, the resurrections, the transformations we go through throughout our life. And man, do we have some powerful ones happening right now. Like, unprecedented. And so that's really what really affected me a lot, and I wanted to share with you. But all the while loving the idea of a holiday to spend with family. It's not a bad thing, and I love all of that too. So I hope I'm not rambling too much, but I just wanted to share that, and it does have to do with the throat, because I am speaking, and I'm speaking my truth, of course, and it doesn't have to be your truth, but it's just something I wanted to share and see if you do, please do let me know if you're understanding and feeling similarly about how throughout your life you have these ideas and these values or beliefs, and then they start to change, and you just wait. And I think it's wonderful. And it's also fabulous to stick to one particular feeling or belief and never change. It doesn't, there's no judgment here whatsoever. But the throat chakra is essential, and it's so important for communication, right? And wanting to be able to express that. Now we're out of the retrogrades, which is just, I love that so much right now. I mean, it seemed to me like in my lifetime and my interest in astrology, which has been for many decades now, I don't remember one to this extent being and affecting me in the way it does, which is also interesting because they affect people differently for so many different reasons. And this one was a kind of a doozy, but I'm loving the energy. I hope that you are too, and you're recognizing it because it's building its momentum. And then, of course, you know, the Aries energy in the last eclipse in Aries, which was on March 29th, as well as the Virgo, which was, what was that, the 12th or something of March. I mean, those are powerful. We're still feeling the effects and the messages and the lessons, and we will until the next series of eclipses happening in September, because it's every 6 months. The words behind the fifth chakra and the messages that I can share with you now to open your throat and to be able to feel strongly and confidently about what it is you wish to speak is the uniqueness of my voice is spirit made manifest. I courageously speak my truth with balance and grace. As Lord Buddha said, neither jagged criticism nor flowery praise will keep me from my path. I hold to my wisdom with humble elegance. And I just love that. It's number 5, the fifth chakra that starts from the base up. And 5 is definitely numerology-wise, it's about change. So it's very perfect and synchronistic to what I'm explaining, which it generally happens with the reading. So I do love that. And then in accordance to that, I'm going to be putting my necklace on that will hold the appropriate crystal in connection with the chakra itself as well. And it's going to be the blue, what is it called? Forgive me, here it is, here's the throat. And it's lapis lazuli. It's a beautiful stone. There's so many different types of crystals and everything. And I do want to have a sponsor in the not too distant future. There's a gorgeous crystal shop. It's called Healing Stones where I live. And man, I just want to just incorporate as many as I can and share that as much as I can because they have such incredible power. I always have them with me. And the throat chakra's lapis lazuli says truth, purpose, and voice. I gently speak my truth, release all fears around judgment. Isn't that a beautiful thought and sentiment? And in doing so, it just kind of naturally and organically opens up that area, right? But you want them all to be open. This is just a little bit more of a focus on the one for the week, okay? So see if that does seem appropriate by the end of the week. If it's like, I have been speaking my mind more or speaking to people more, or I have had more interviews, or I'm starting a YouTube channel, or whatever the case may be. So I'll set these down here, put in the crystal as I mentioned, and we'll get on with the reading because the Celtic cross does tend to, it takes a little bit longer, but it doesn't have to. And I love it because all of the different placements represent the different aspects of your life and what's happening. And I truly hope that you are feeling wonderful no matter what, because we actually did, and I'm reading this, like I said, on Easter, and it is the last 10 days of April. And I do want to start the May readings in hopes to get those out on time with many things happening. But I will do this because it is about the balance and not feeling stressed to do so, but doing it from a place of heart and loving that kind of will just, I know, always work itself out. Look at this gorgeous, beautiful crystal. Lupus, what is it? Lupus lapis lazuli. Lupus, no wait, let me just get a little closer so I can see. Lapis lazuli. It's got like a ring around it. It almost reminds me of, I want to say the planet Neptune, to be completely honest, which wouldn't be too far off because we have, man, I mean, what a perfect segue there. I mentioned a lot of the changes. There's a lot of Aries energy, and it will continue because the beginning of May, which will be part of the readings you'll be seeing in your May reading, but we have Venus going into Aries. It's in Pisces right now, and Neptune, which has been in Pisces and is also the more modern, I guess, ruler of Pisces, which more historically is Jupiter. And planets can have two, and they do, a fair amount do. I will wear this to infuse the reading and hope that everything comes through as clearly and concisely for you as possible so that it makes sense and that you can resonate and feel good and empowered and hopefully kind of spark some ideas and inspiration in you, for heaven's sakes. But yeah, so Neptune has gone into Aries. It'll be there for, I think, through October, and then it's going to go back into Pisces. And then Neptune will be in Aries for 14 years as of February 2026. So this is huge. It's just, there's so much. And so any Arian, of course, or Aries placements will certainly feel it, but it's the beginning degrees, right? And then it gets further into the, degrees as the years go by. And so those in particular, I would say mostly feeling it would be from 0 to 1 or 2, perhaps, degrees. Then we have, we just had finished the eclipses, like I said. We've got 2 moons happening in May, which I'll talk about in the May readings. But we definitely have a full moon happening on the 27th, which is this coming Sunday, in Taurus. And we entered into the Taurus energy of the sun season of Taurus yesterday. So what a change that is from this fiery Mars ruled, the planet of war and aggression and heat and hot and passion and motivation, movement, into Taurus, which is incredible, sensitivity, sensuality, all the senses are used. It's an earth sign, it's grounded, it's stable, it's fixed sign, it's determined, it's everything Aries and all of us can be, but it's such a different feeling. And I think it feels more calm right now, thankfully, with a lot of things happening. Like I said, I think all of you can relate to in some way. It's just happening everywhere. And then the fact that, what else can I tell you? What else? Let's see. There's a lot of Saturn happening right now because Saturn actually is still in Pisces legitimately through 26, but it will change its signs and go into Aries as well. Neptune and Saturn generally do work together in that way, and they end up being in the same sign for Saturn would be more like 2.5, 3 years in Aries. That'll change, and I believe it's May. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact date, but then it'll go back once again into Pisces and then back into Aries like Neptune for 3 years. And that's a whole nother vibe and energy. Saturn is about, regiment and time and restriction and purpose and, setting you on the right track and wanting you to get to wherever it is your destination is without a bunch of, zigzagging and overspending or overthinking or just making it happen, right? And it can be a little stifling. And anybody with planets, in, once again, Aries might feel that. Right now, Pisces has been dealing with it. Pisces is in the North Node, which is representing the eclipse series, which is Pisces, North Node, Virgo, South Node. And that'll be happening for the next 18 months. But Pisces is the sign of spirituality and metaphysical, woo-woo and otherworldly, just out there, beautiful, imaginative, creative, loving, compassionate. So that's been in the energy too. And I'm sure a lot of you are picking up on that. And when Neptune goes into Aries, who's this very first sign of the zodiac, fiery, ambitious, and impulsive, like all those dreams that Pisces had, that it was just like, oh, and it's just the best, and everything is so rose-colored. It's the world is a beautiful place, and really believing it, but then unfortunately seeing things to the contrary. Aries is all of that. It's creativity, it's sensitivity, but it's also like, but I want it, and I want it now. I'm not putting this off for another 14 years, okay? So that's kind of cool, in my humble opinion. So that's a little bit of what's happening astrologically, for sure. And so, yeah, and then Mars actually went into the ruling planet of Aries once again. also Scorpio, more historically, went into the sign of Leo on the 18th, which was just a couple days ago. And I, for one, I mean, it doesn't matter across the board. If you've been lacking energy, that's going to change, okay? Leo, fire sign like Aries and Sagittarius, is very fun, very active, very social. You know, it's springtime in the Northern Hemisphere, fall in the Southern Hemisphere. It's days are longer. It was what, 8:15 p.m. when the sun went down. I was like, yes, yes, and thank you. And it goes so quickly. So enjoy it. Get out there. You know, power to you. It stays in Leo through June 1st. So there's a good amount of time. All planets are stationing direct right now. Make things happen, okay? But be very careful in the process, because I literally fell about, well, 2 hours ago now. Yeah, I had to move some things, and where I'm working, it's been chaotic. Everything's going on, and I'm having to change rooms, and I tripped and fell, and I was like, what is happening right now? Thankfully, I'm okay. I have a skin knee, and I hit my head a little bit, which maybe was better. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it'll knock some sense into me. Just be very careful with the Mars energy in Leo, because it can be very rambunctious, and you might trip and do things a little quicker. I didn't think I was. I just didn't see a particular item, and I'm feeling a little bit of something, but nothing, thank goodness, right? So that's just to let you know that I'm also, I feel it. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do this reading. I'm going to take my mind off of it a little bit, and know that thankfully, like I said, everything will be good. It's just going to be a day or so of being a little sore probably. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of fooling around here. We're going to start the Celtic Cross reading, and those that are just tuning in, welcome. I really appreciate you. I couldn't do it without you. I love that I'm seeing a growth. It's not a big one, but it's, I'll take it. I'll take it all. It's slowly happening, and I appreciate you all. And I am talking more today because, after all, the chakra came up. I mean, I can't help it. But because I said on the weekly collectives, I do elaborate a lot more. Your monthly readings would be more specific to each sign, of course. And do remember that, like at the end, when I pull a card, catalyst card for each sign for the week, it's going to be your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign. I say definitely Venus, and I would say Mercury, because Mercury is about, once again, talking, communicating. That's huge, especially with Leo. In Mars, you're going to get out there. You want to get that job. You want to get that partnership. You want to have romance. You want to have love and passion. Yeah, this is the energy. Trust me on that. Go have a vacation at this point. Plan that vacation. It's essential. We all need them. And I'm going away myself for about 4 days next month. I'm already packed. That's all I'm going to say about that. I've definitely shuffled these cards. And we'll start the Celtic Cross. Once again, this is the Light Seers deck that I love very, very much. First card is the overall energy for all of us. The general collective for the week of April 21st through April 27th, with that beautiful full moon in Taurus. Well, we have the Seven of Swords, smack dab in the center. I can't even tell you how often this has come up in my readings that I've watched from the 4 or 5 readers that I always watch every month. And I've heard a few different definitions and everything, and in my gut, it always ends up being the same thing. You are being shown in clear daylight with a very sunny light shown on it that there's something amiss and something that's not quite right. Now, you can kid yourself in thinking, oh, no, that's not. Because you're looking at most of a person who does exactly that whenever possible. Oh, I must have misunderstood that person who said something a little off color, or, no, that can't be happening. Well, this is happening in some form, certainly to me, straight up, absolutely. Deception has been a part of my life for a while. And it's hard to even grasp sometimes that that's actually going on, but it's okay. It's very important. It's something in how we must learn. And if it's self-deception, even more so, please don't kid yourself if you know something's not right and you're feeling it, because this is a very, very psychic and intuitive time with Pisces. In the North Node position, as I mentioned, and we all get to feel that. We all get to be that. We all get to know and just say, whoa, I was just thinking of that person, as they call you. You know, that's real. And ask for it and invite it. It will be pronounced. And I say a lot of dreams as well. I've been having dreams. I don't remember last night's, but I woke up knowing I did. And yeah, I'm just Seven of Swords, okay? It does not have to be negative in the sense that it's, you know, it's horrible and it's the worst possible. No, you're getting heads up. You're not unaware. And it could be another way or strategy to work around never having to experience this again. Okay, so I like that in that sense. Let's see where else the cards go with this. So the crossing one is the blessings or blocks. And you have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so whatever this is or whatever, you are really you're going to be busy. This is the earth energy of Taurus. Now remember, Taurus is the earth sign that just, they get things done, you know, and it doesn't have to be fast, but it will be for the long haul. It will be for the big picture. It will be for the fact and sake of complete comfort and stability and, you know, working hard. This is a card that represents working hard. I believe it is known as the Virgo, Sun and Virgo card. Virgo is earth sign as well. Capricorn and Taurus, hardworking, you know, and they know what they want and they want the comforts that it brings. And they also play hard and enjoy life. And, you know, they are wonderful, beautiful, warm, loyal people, okay, with a lot of creativity and talent as well. And by the way, you know, Taurus is ruled by Venus, so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, because Venus is a heavy player right now too, for a few reasons. Also because it's in Pisces. But so yeah, just there's love and there's a lot of that good juju feeling going on. And there's also the understanding that if you want to achieve something and you want to get to that next level, there will be some active participation on your part. And when I say, like, don't be concerned, because I've heard it too, and I thought, oh, but I'm already working hard. I love my job. It takes time. I take a lot of time with what I do because I do more than one thing, but I just, this isn't in any way, and 8, by the way, is the numerology, a number in numerology that represents abundance and financial rewards and just this wonderful feeling of accomplishments. And, you know, you've sown the seeds and you're just like, you're reaping the results. But when I say work hard, it may not seem like work to you at all. So it's relative to how you're taking that and perceiving it. So then we have I call it the foundation. It could be your, not recent, but deep past is another way to look at this. And you have the Knight of Cups. Okay. There's some romantic and some beautiful energy of feeling and emotions and love for yourself, your significant other, your family. There's that water element, which is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. It's deep, it's sensitive. It's also, once again, very intuitive. A little bit moody, you know. I mean, they tend to be empaths and feel a lot of things. So it's a little hard sometimes, and it can create a sense of oversensitivity and moodiness, like, you know, the currents of the waves and the water and how that happens. Sometimes it's calm and sometimes it's turbulent, but it changes, and it changes with the moons, and we're all in this together, you know. It all affects everything. So how profound, right? But you know what I mean. I love it. This is good. And the root of everything, and the root of the understanding of the things that may not make you feel so great in life, or the things you see that you wish you don't and you can't unsee, there's a very strong feeling of love and compassion and forgiveness and acceptance. And the Knight is the messenger. So if you're not aware of a certain person, perhaps, that might be have his eye or her eye on you, and you're just like, I don't even, care about that right now. Well, then it's self-love, and it's love for your family. It's love for my grandchild that's coming in September that I can't even express how my heart opened up when I found out about that. It was so incredibly beautiful and strong, and it still is, and it will be forever. That's a transformation for sure. But love, 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 love. And I love that. So got to have love in life, you know, all forms. And I'm looking directly at my beautiful cat across from me who adds so much to the energy for my readings. And I appreciate it so much. And he knows it. And he's sleeping, or he's acting like it. And he's just the sweetest thing. Recent past, Three of Swords. I can't help but connect this with the Seven of Swords. I think, first of all, it's the past, which I love. And also the Three of Swords represent having been hurt and the process of healing. Generally, there is, with the Rider-Waite-Smith, and you kind of see it here, there's something sticking through the heart. But it's swords, because it represents the air element and, you know, our thoughts and everything. And yes, they say a lot of times that the air elements are not emotional and we're very detached, and I am an air sign. I understand that. Like, I have this part of me that wants to keep it together so that I can be there for other people and just not lose it, though I have and do. But in my heart, we all are capable of so much love. It's just that I can compartmentalize it, I guess, more than like a water sign where it's just they wear everything on their sleeve. You just can't, you know what's happening. And but this is necessary in life, you know. I mean, as much as things may hurt you, and you know the saying, when people say things that are unkind, or you hear from other people or gossip or whatever, oh, so and so said this and everything, and you're just like, what? Like, I didn't know, I don't even know these people. What do you, and you get that feeling of like, ow, that's like, what? And then you get over it and say, that's their problem. That's nothing to do with me. You know, it's just something they are going through. They need to, and I'm just happen to be the catalyst for them, right? That's the way to look at that. Well, this is healing. This is a past thing. We're so strong. The heart is so incredibly resilient. It's one of the strongest muscles in our body. It's the most psychic, most intuitive. And, you know, it is the last organ before we were pronounced, you know, dead or into a transition, right? It's when our heart stops. So, but yeah, just know that you are doing, all of us are doing really well with a lot of the circumstances that have come down in a collective sense, you know, the mundane, you call it, where it affects all of us. So continue to trust and know that, you know, as dark and as deceptive as things seem at times, there's just some incredible light, because both have to be together always. And we can encourage that. We can manifest that. What we think absolutely affects so much of everything. And so moving on, we have the near future card, and that's the Two of Pentacles. And this has been also quite prevalent in readings and in my personal readings. And it is, once again, the Pentacles, which are the coins, which are, you know, our sustenance and our money, and how are we balancing things, and are we balancing things? And it looks as though, for the most part, pretty darn well. I mean, you know, it's a constant, and there's a lot of things changing financially for people. I understand. I won't go into depth with that, other than to say, I know those of you that know what I mean. You know what I mean, and it's personal. It's individual as a collective. Some feel some of it, some feel nothing. But the two is partnership too, and it's working together, and it's finding that balance, you know, and wanting to pursue that. The harm and hurt has happened. It's done. Moving in a direction where you're like, okay, I've learned from it. Let's see what we can do about this. And if it starts to tilt in the way that doesn't feel 100% right, knowing now what you can do to stop that. I love these cards. I love the illustrations. I hope you can see them mostly. I've lifted them up, but I did, you know, put this clear glass versus the little tie-dye tablecloth I have, because I like being able to see that. But let's see here. Can I bring it down anymore? Yeah, a little bit. Oh, I'm not thinking the light's so great. But anyway, I'll hold it up, and there we go with that. My. Am I surprised? Bear with me one second. No, I am not surprised. but I hope you'll tolerate me for just another moment as I slid it off its little thing there. Yeah. And I also changed the the direction of the camera today too. Like I said, I'm going to be messing around with that probably a while. I have a person coming in to help me with that, but we'll figure it out. The message is the most important. So I hope you are grasping and taking this in and feeling and resonating with it. So then we have the immediate future. And you have the Two of Wands. So we go from the Two of Pentacles and balancing and our money and our, our sustenance and all the things that are earthly and our work and our partnerships. And then we go to the Two of Wands, because looking with that globe right there, which I love how she placed that. I don't want it to be too glary. Out the window with that beautiful sun kind of brightness, which would be the third chakra, the solar plexus of confidence, that Leo, Mars, definite energy that we're all going to be able to utilize and allow to recognize our courage, our initiatives, our forward moving thoughts and desires. Wands are the fire. They're the Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius astrological signs, and they are all about spirit and movement and action and just going from the mind and thought, the heart and feeling, to putting it into action, making it happen, okay? Tangible things. So that's really cool. I like that a lot. Perhaps you know exactly what I'm speaking of. And if not, you certainly will know, because it's your life, your desire, your plan. Or maybe, just maybe, and we'll find out, we've got the stem left to do. You're kind of still waiting. You're not quite ready to push forward yet. And I would highly recommend that as well. This new moon in, wait 1 second, forgive me. I'm so sorry. I'm just had a complete blank. I believe it's new moon, not a full moon of Taurus. And I apologize profusely, because now I did hit my head. I'm not going to lie. I wish that could be used on a regular basis, but all kidding aside, yes, the new moon, it is a new moon. It's absolutely a new moon. You're going to write down intentions. You're going to start this new regiment, whatever it is, and you're going to stick with it with love and compassion for yourself and others, with Leo, Mars, there to really boost you up even more. And you've got ideas, and I would say definitely, and I've heard it, so I'm just repeating it as well. Vision boards, writing out your intentions. It's phenomenal. I love it. If I'm incorrect about that, please forgive me if it is not, in fact, the new moon. But before this reading, I definitely want to make that very clear, because in my mind, what I do know is it is new, because the full moon was in Libra on the 12th. And that was very, very clear and bright and full, and it had a lot of culminations, and I'm sure you can relate to that too. So thank you. Thank you, Spirit. So then we go to the stem, and the stem is the first card, represents your I want to say your viewpoint on life in general right now. Certainly the reading, kind of that pullback perspective of seeing things, as a whole. And you have the Page of Cups. So there you are again with this definite, full, and very powerful Pisces, Venus and Pisces energy of love and compassion. And I love this little little pig flying, and the man's like flying up there with it, thinking like when pigs fly is when that person or that relationship will really occur, right? But you have to fully believe, and you have to imagine it, and you have to just imagine it's already happening, basically, is how I've always heard it. And it makes sense to me. Just as far as you're concerned, it's already on the way. This message, this, new perspective. And by the way, if it's not romance or it's not a specific person, it's definitely an idea that fills your heart, that brings passion to you, that makes you feel, just a real spark of energy, that second chakra, sacral juice is flowing and like, oh man, just keep them coming. And that's, once again, powerful Mars and Leo, where they're very creative and they want to be seen and they want to be recognized, you know, very proud sign the Leo sign is, and regal as well, you know, they have pride, they want to do their very best. They have a heart of gold and they're super willing to just spoil you rotten if they're passionately involved with you. So it could also be a child in your life when you're thinking of, when you want to have, when that you're pregnant. It definitely is also about our inner child. All of those pertain to any page reference and, you know, just the newness. So yeah, Page of Cups, the heart, once again, and the other was the Knight. So two of the, what am I saying? What is this considered? The Knights or the, well, they're both messengers. We'll leave it at that. I don't want to think too much about it. So the second is the environment. And you have the Page of Swords. So you've got two pages. And the swords are about our mind. They are the air signs. I mentioned that with the Three of Swords. The Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. And they are definitely thinkers and innovators. And they are all about spreading the word, and they're great at communicating. They love fairness and justice and peace. And they want to see happiness and, you know, compromise. And there's a lot of, you know, cerebral things that go on with the swords, but the page could be, you know, just information and a message coming from somebody that's youthful. And sometimes I myself included have absolutely learned from the youth. I worked with, in the schools with, you know, kindergartens, first graders, special needs, and onward in the grades for many, many years. And man, it was such a delight. And it was a real passion because I learned so much from everything, but I really learned from children. And even though they're young, sometimes they have such old souls. And I know you can relate to that. So there's that. And then there's, once again, twice now about, you know, being around youth in some way, having conversations about children and, you know, the prospect of having a child and, you know, getting connected with somebody where that would occur. All those things factor into it. And that is your environment. So maybe you're setting the house up now and you're about to have a child, or once again, never ever letting go of that youthful part of you, your child, inner child, as they call it. Laughing as much as possible, you know, amongst the turmoil and the confusion and the deception, as I mentioned earlier on. And then we have the blessings or block card, and that's going to be, and is, the Four of Cups. So there's a kind of a feeling of, I'm blessed, I know it. And Cups, once again, it's emotion. There's a lot of emotion going on. I'm not surprised, you know, Pisces is very emotional and very, very sacrificed. They're a self-sacrificing sign a lot of times. And maybe you feel that's what's gone on. Maybe you want more reciprocity and such. But this is feeling like there's something missing. And, you know, usually there's a hand that's coming out in the right way. Oh, there it is with the bowl right here, offering a new possibility, a new emotion, you know, a new job, a new creative endeavor, a new relationship, something to fill your cup, right? And it's there. Sometimes we don't see it when it's right in front of our face, right? So that's something to think about. And give yourself time this week to really be introspective and to think, like I've been doing. Like I said early on with the speech about the whole thing about Easter, it was just flowing through. And I was thinking, wow, certainly not something I thought of as a child, but it all kind of makes sense. And it's, everything in life is basically a metaphor, right? As to what life is to in our viewpoint, and you know what I'm saying. So just hold on. 4 is definitely a number of stability and feeling more stable or secure and that sort of thing. And with this beautiful energy of Taurus, and it'll be through May 20th, when it then goes into Gemini season, it's really kind of just taking those deep breaths and just going out into nature more and just planting your garden. You could still do it. I mean, it's still time for, I planted one tomato, but they get big. Cherry tomatoes, like candy, just pop them in your mouth. Yeah, this is letting you know it doesn't have to be a block. You can open your mind and just ask for guidance. You can write down things that as you feel them and see them, and visionary board, as I said before. It's time for, I think it's definitely time for a lot of us with everything that's gone on in the retrogrades and now the movement forward in life, just to really allow yourself time to be at peace with yourself and to really understand what it is your needs are, and if so, why, and not having to really explain it to anybody else. And then your outcome card. Oh yeah, the 8 of Wands. Bam! Boop! Fast movement. Leo, Leo, Mars, just, it's real. Wait, 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm going to put this down. I'm feeling something right here. It's a burn. I'm a massage therapist, and I'm like, I need to give myself a little massage here after this, for sure. But I love this. This is fast movement. It's information. It's the fire energy once again. We started with the swords and, maybe getting a little tripped up in our mind about whether what's real and what isn't. Is there deception, or am I just seeing things? Can I learn to recognize things that aren't right a little sooner? Can I be honest with myself about what I'm bringing forth to maybe make this happen or create it in some way? And it's not a blame game. I'm not meaning that, but what could you do differently? What can we honestly say to ourselves? Okay, I've learned, thank you. And I always heard this from other readers. Thank you for the lesson. Next time, I don't want it to be on that level. I've learned that, and I appreciate it. But now I want it to be more fun and more active and more in line with, the actions that I want to see happen, because I'm going to be very courageous in this process, right? So I love that. I mean, this has a very varied amount of energies in it, but it definitely has earth, water, and fire, and air. So there's a combination of pretty much everything there, and I like that for you. Mostly water, though. So I think a lot of people are just really tuning into their hearts and really deciding that's, and it really is. It's so important to have that feel right. The saying, trust in your gut, trust in your heart, listen to your heart. It will never, ever lie or let you down. And it's built right in our beautiful systems, right? So I love that. I hope that makes sense to a lot of you in some ways right now, but it could, as the week goes on, it might really become more prevalent for you. So I'm going to set these aside now and do the quick little every sign card that represents, for the week of what you might want to focus on in the main thing. And what I love about this deck that I used last week as well is that it has a little saying. So I'm going to read that really quickly to you as I read them. So it's very straight and concise. And this is also the deck of, which I love. I mispronounced it, not unusual, but I do that on occasion, the Neoteric Feminine deck. And it's gorgeous, and it's really cool. And it has the upright and reverse meanings as well. So, starting with Aries to Pisces, for the week of the April 21st to the 27th, we have, for the first card, Aries, we have the King of Pentacles. Bam. Okay, there you go. Very mature. A lot of feeling of success and comforts. Taurus, I don't know where it falls in your chart. You may have Taurus in your own natal chart. You could look it up. But we're all going to be feeling the energies of Taurus during Taurus season. And if you are a Taurus, happy birthday, because first of all, that's Aries, but you know what I'm saying. I'll bring it up on Taurus as well. The words with it say abundance, prosperity, security, ambition, safety, kindness, patriarchy, protectiveness, and provision. All right, so Aries, You're in line with it. You know, Taurus is right next to you on the zodiac wheel as well. Keep up the good work. You know that you have everything it takes to be exactly who you are, and I don't think you would think otherwise, and I love you for it. Taurus, Queen of Pentacles. Okay, doesn't have to be a man or a woman. It's simply the feminine versus masculine energy, and it turns out that, yes, Taurus is known as the feminine sign because of the fact that it has the ruling planet Venus, which is one of the most feminine energies in all the planets. And it is about love, and it is about, you know, beauty, and it is about self-love, and it is about all the joys and the sensual things in life, right? So it says to you, generous, caring, nurturing, homebody, good business sense, practical, comforting, welcoming, sensible, luxurious. That's the Queen of Pentacles. And you can see this beautiful card that shows, I love these illustrations. Hey, there's a rabbit. So there's fertility. There's the ram and the Aries. Isn't that interesting on the chair? Wow. I'm just surprised, but I mean, you know, is that a bull? I'm sorry. I think that might be a bull, which is, of course, what a Taurus is. But yeah, just gorgeous, beautiful, affluent, all the comforts, everything. Happy birthday. That's exactly what this season can bring for you. And you should have special favor in this month. I think that happens for all of us on our birthdays, and ask for it. Okay. And then we have Gemini, and we have the Knight of Pentacles. So a messenger about money, perhaps, you know, something coming through. Not always, but I think mostly, especially when it is the Knight of Pentacles, it's a slow moving knight, but it absolutely will come forth, and it'll be long-term investments, maybe something that could be part of the lineage in some way. Practical, reliable, efficient, static, slow, and steady, hardworking, committed, patient, and conservative. Not normally what a Gemini is, but you know what? With this energy, it might be just what you need to get yourself in alignment with what you are wanting. And I see a plane, so there's travel perhaps, and the money to go and enjoy yourself and have that vacation, whether it be by boat, plane, or horse. Just kidding. So yeah, that's really cool, Gemini. Then we have Cancer. And your card is the Two of Cups. Of course it is. That's you. The water, the element, the love, you know, the compassion, the joy. You love you love your family. You love to receive love, to give love. You're very much about your heart, and you're sensitive, and you're very well versed in how to keep a home happy and comfortable, and you know, you cook the meals, and you're part of the PTA and what have you. It doesn't matter the gender. Unity, partnership, attraction, connection, close bonds, joining forces, mutual respect. Man, that can be this week and then onward for sure, with Pisces, your fellow water sign, leading the brigade, as it will, for the next 18 months. And your birthday not too far off, and Venus entering then, but we'll get to that at that time. Then we have Leo. Good old Leo. Knight of Swords. Bam! Fast moving information. Sometimes out of the blue and unexpected, right? But truthful and straightforward and assertive, direct, impatient, intellectual, daring, focused, perfectionist, ambitious. The fastest of the knights, okay? So don't be surprised if something just, bam, out of the blue, but it sends you in the right direction, Leo, which is maybe something you've actually really needed. You've got Mars in your sign now. You need the information that's going to be real and true. You don't want any BS anymore. You're not tolerating that. Nobody is, I don't think. We're going to really learn to accept that not everything you hear is at face value. That would have been the Seven of Swords at the beginning of the Celtic Cross reading. Then we go on to Virgo. And for your week, it's Judgment. Okay, so that's done. It's rising from the ashes. It's, you know, starting anew. It's definitely something that can be very karmic. And the words for it are self-evaluation, awakening, renewal, purpose, reflection, and reckoning. Okay, all of those seem very suiting and appropriate for what's happening, what I've heard on a collective and personal level. So you go for it and you make things happen for yourself, Virgo. You know you're good at that. You are the South Node now for the next 18 months, and that's releasing things that don't work, all the toxicity, all the things around your home, maybe just purging and just clearing the energy, clearing your space. You've made choices. You're going to stick with them. Then we have Libra, Eight of Swords. Well, of course. Now Libra. I'm a Libra. In our minds, you are not trapped. And I know exactly how you're feeling right now. There have been circumstances beyond your control, and it feels like, wow, well, that's time to stop, right? And to really think and realize, number one, you absolutely do have control, but it's not even about that. Don't let your fears block you from where you need to go or what you need to be doing, because you can easily get out of these swords. They're not really restricting you at all, but that is a mind thing. I've spoke about it earlier. Air signs have a lot to do with their minds. They're thinking all the time, sometimes way too much. Allow yourself to go down to the heart. There was a lot of cups in the reading. To let that heal any overthinking and just kind of erase that. It happens a lot faster when you just honestly say out loud, I'm moving from my thoughts to my heart, and it instantly changes, and you can free yourself that quickly. Then we have Scorpio, Eight of Pentacles. Busy, busy. That came up in the reading as well. Eight is about a lot of prosperity. Now, it does involve you really putting your efforts into it. The words behind it are skill, talent, craftsmanship, quality, high standards, expertise, mastery, commitment, dedication, and accomplishment. Wow. Power. You do reside in the 8th house, which is very interesting, but I never say there are coincidences. So anyway, that's wonderful for you too. Keep up the good work and watch yourself reap the benefits from it. And then Sagittarius, the sun, of course. The sun, the Leo, your fellow fire sign, Mars in Leo. The best, brightest, brilliant, energetic feeling you could have. You're an optimistic sign anyway. You're ruled by Jupiter. I love you, Sagittarians. Happiness, success, optimism, vitality, joy, confidence, and truth. Doesn't get much better than that. It's going to be a great week. Keep it that way as you normally do, okay? And you deserve it. Capricorn. The Lovers. Oh, well, we just had a Capricorn moon. And let's see, I think, tomorrow is when it goes into Aquarius. So it's been in a Capricorn. And I'm happy to hear this for you. Congratulations. You've made some amazing, great selection. You're feeling extremely passionate right now. Once again, with Leo, not surprising. That brings that part of us out. There's sensual things. There's all sorts of things that maybe you'd forgotten about. They're coming back through June 1st. Love, unions, partnerships, relationships, choices, romance, balance, and unity. I love that for you. Good for you. Have a beautiful week. Aquarius, Page of Pentacles. Ooh la la. Going to France. Well, there's some ideas. The pages are, like I said, they're messengers. They're part of the, I still can't think of it. I'm sorry. My brain is not functioning right now. There's the major arcana, and then there's the other word that has to do with the messengers and the knights and the kings and the queens, the court cards. There you go. The court cards. The most youthful, the most new, something that's coming through that will help you maybe to start a new project, job. I don't know. You could get offers, all sorts of things. Maybe you're putting aside money to go to France and do your traveling you've always wanted to do. It's absolutely a possibility. And I hope it happens for you. Ambitious, diligent, good, goal-oriented, planner, consistent, star students. Well, you do represent the star, Aquarius, in the tarot. Studious, grounded, loyal, faithful, and dependable. There you go. Hey, even if you go by yourself, have an amazing time and enjoy this week. And then last but not least, Pisces. Beautiful Pisces. You have the world. Wow. I'll tell you what, the Pisces are going through some major, major transformations. And when you have the North Node in your sign, it is very much focused on you. And yet you are the person that thinks probably more than a lot of signs about everybody else. You know, and you want to just see the world at large as being that we can all get along, and we're all in this together, and we're all, you know, we're all definitely part of the collective. But I think even more in this regard, there's a huge change, a move, you know, a traveling experience that you've not done yet that you want to do. And this is the time. Please don't put it off if you can help it, and make that happen for yourself. You're so deserving. It's the last card of the zodiac. Completion, achievement, fulfillment, sense of belonging, wholeness, and harmony. It's everything, and it's all in how you are able to allow yourself these things, right? It's always going to be that. Opportunities come along all the time for us. But whether we take them is really going to be up to us. No judgment. Just, you know, really think about it and explore and do things you haven't before. You're a very open sign that way anyway. So that is the weekly collective. It's gone on a bit, but it's about an hour. Thank you for your time. I love being here with you. I wouldn't do it otherwise. I hope that you captured something that felt right for you and will continue to, and you'll come back, and I would love that. Please like, subscribe, share, anything you can do. I'm wanting to get monetized. I'm trying to build my subscribers, of course, and you can be very instrumental in that. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for those that have been doing it, those that will do it. And until next week, have a beautiful, beautiful week. Bye for now. I'll try that again. Bye for now.